G'day and welcome to another big edition of the RDFNL Footy Show. My name's Yendi. I'm joined by the Operations Manager of the RDFNL, Steve Williams. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel with me again, Yendi.
Okay, the talent pool stretches pretty deep down here at RDFNL.
Candidates, mate.
Now, I believe you bumped into Marianne Thomas over the weekend, mate, at Lansfield last week.
I did. Yendi went over to Lansfield. Hadn't been to Lansfield this year, so went over to catch up with Leanne and Mark and the team over there, and coincided with Marianne's visit to Lansfield to open the new netball facility. So it was fantastic. Got to go through. There's a little bit of press over there and a few people around, and unfortunately at one point we were even standing on the netball court when they were trying to start the second half of the A-grade match, and the umpire just shooed Marianne out of the way. So but no, it was fantastic and really good facility, and congratulations to the guys over at Lansfield. I think they're really trying to do some great stuff over there, and yeah, I'm glad I could be there.
Sensational, mate. And you obviously went down Media Street as well. Do you get fined for appearing in the paper as well, like footy clubs? Surely it's a $10 fine.
I don't know. Yeah, you have to check with Wardy, mate. I don't know. He might be taking it out of me pay.
Oh, look out. That's it. Oh, maybe you'll have to, at the end of the season trip, I think you'll have to cough up somewhere down the line, mate.
Yeah.
Now, on the upside as well, I guess it was a good win for Lansfield against Rockbank as well. Unfortunate for Rockbank to sort of fall away like they did, but Lansfield just powered away.
Well, I'll be honest with you. The netball ran a bit late. So I sort of got there expecting it to be in the first quarter of the netball, but it hadn't started. And with the opening of that facility, and that sort of took a little bit of time, and then I was there catching up with some of the people, the architects and things like that, and before I knew it was about 2:30, and so I wandered across to the footy and I saw it was 9 goals to a point. So they obviously took them out in the first quarter, and after that, Lansfield outscored them for the last 3, but not as significant as that. But they played some pretty good footy. I only saw it after quarter time, and they were playing some good footy. They had some young guys in their side. They had young Kobe Mamolo, who is the junior president Andrew's son, playing his first game out of the under-16s, and from what I could see, a few other fairly young players running around as well. So credit to them for turning it around from the first time round when Rockbank got over the top of them. So they were pretty happy there.
Yeah, no, fantastic work there by Lansfield. They've certainly worked hard for that one, and all full credit to Rockbank as well. They've been good this year, so no doubt there's plenty of things to sort of tick off their list. I had the pleasure of getting out and watching Diggers Rest, Wood End, Heskett. And the wind was just starting all over the place, mate. I've never seen anything that in my life. I've never seen somebody have a shot at goal and it looks like it's going through the middle. It's just metres away from going through the goal, and the wind's like, you know what? I'm going to play around with this and just take it out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, okay.
So I've never seen anything like that in my life, how bad that wind was. And
you did try and tell me on last Friday that Wood End were going to beat Diggers Rest, and I said, well, I'm not convinced that's going to happen. But.
Well, they started off pretty strongly, and then the Boroughs just sort of did their thing after quarter time there, mate.
Yeah,
so
the scoreboard didn't get too far out of control though. It wasn't an embarrassing defeat by any stretch of the imagination. So
best stat I took of the day was 68 boundary throw-ins and ball ups over the course of the day.
Right, you've obviously got too much time on your hands.
Absolutely, mate. Look, it was the best stat I've ever taken. I'll take that with me to my grave. The other game that was also on the cards, Sunbury Kangaroos defeated Broadford in pretty convincing fashion in the end as well. But the Broadford side did show a little bit of fight too, which is good.
Well, thankfully, not quite as wide a margin as the week before when they played against Rupo, which I happened to be at that game. But Sunbury Kangaroos are just keeping on. They're travelling pretty well in that race for that sort of fifth and sixth spot on the ladder, and fourth spot as well, I guess. So still pretty close in the race for those last few spots.
Definitely is, mate. Now this week we've got multicultural round in the RDFNL, and we've got just 3 games of sort of celebrating it, but we've got a few things in the record this week, mate, that might keep people interested for a few minutes.
Yeah, no, well, thanks to you, I guess, for what you've done in producing those few pages in the middle, and it's a very important round, especially I guess for us, here at Melton, over at Centrals, where we cohabitate with our headquarters, and quite a few multicultural players do play for Melton Centrals, and they certainly embrace the day. We had a great function here last year. There's a luncheon on here again on Saturday. I'll be over here for the day. So certainly looking forward to that, and looking forward to see how they go.
Now they've got a big game against Romsey, because we talk about teams sort of battling for the 5th and 6th positions. Romsey are right in the mix there. We're alongside Wallen and the Sunbury Kangaroos and Riddle that are fighting for those spots. Melbourne Central, so they have a chance here, because Romsey, their season could very well play on the line if they don't get up.
I'm not sure if they're half a chance. I think Romsey have got too much to play for.
Yep.
Centrals have had some good results, I guess, in recent weeks, but I'd have to think that Romsey would be a little bit too strong. I think, as I said, they've got a fair bit to play for, so they'll be pulling out all stops to make sure that they get a win on the board here.
And if they need some percentage as well, because it may end up coming down to that with some of the teams down at that bottom end. We've got to try and squeeze 4 into 3, and good scenario from the league's point of view. But for Romsey's perspective, they need to they've had some big goal hauls in fairly recent weeks, so if they keep that up, then Melbourne Centrals might be in a bit of trouble. Another blockbuster game all the way across at Wallen. They play host to Riddle in what is going to be a massive encounter, and what sort of many people tipped during this week, it could be the season-defining match for either club, because the loser they could be struggling.
Well, as I said to you, I don't know why you're interviewing me twice in a row, but when we caught up last week, I think it was, or the week before, I don't know, but we were talking about Wallen and Macedon, and I think I mentioned at the time that I hadn't really got a handle on Wallen, and that proved to be true when they came out and knocked Macedon over. So, but I guess all that shows is that they're in pretty good form. And as we know, Riddle are in great form as well. So this is a tough one to pick. I guess when in doubt, go the home team. So I would imagine that a few of the local supporters will be jumping on the bandwagon over there at Wallen, and they might get a few people there to cheer them along, and maybe the home crowd can get them across the line.
I'm going to jump on the Bombers bandwagon, because it'll sort of work with the tip for my next game, because if the Bombers get up, I think they're on an 8-game winning streak. Then the next blockbuster game, the last blockbuster game, we've got Rupert's Wood and Macedon. Should Rupo get up, it sets up a dream run, because they'll have a 7-game winning streak. The Bombers will have an 8-game winning streak. They play each other the following week. That is going to be a mouth-watering contest.
Yeah, exactly right. So, it's fantastic for the comp to have sort of these games like this. We didn't have probably quite as much of it last year, so really sets up well. I think Macedon might make a bit of a comeback here, and you don't win how many in a row, or whatever it was, 10 or 12 in a row by being average. So I know Rupert's would have gone very, very well, but I've still got a feeling that Macedon might be getting a bit of a rocket there, and they might come out all guns blazing.
I think I hear that they might have a few stars coming back as well, just to sort of strengthen their lineup. But it'll be a big game for them. Should they get up, it'll be very important in the context of their season. And I'm quietly hoping that we'll see these two probably play off in the first week of the finals. I've been saying it fairly often, even off the screen, that the romance of Macedon and Rupert's Wood playing off in week 1 of the finals, where a team has to win, is great, because neither side have won a final since they've been in the competition. I know Macedon went into recess, so they've restarted and haven't won a senior final since then.
Well, if I was allowed to bet on footy in the RDFNL, which I'm not, as you know,
absolutely,
I'd probably have my money on a draw.
Yeah, geez, you're sitting on the fence, mate.
Just a financial interest.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It would be good, but a fair bit's got to play out before that to happen. Absolutely. So let's not count out last year's premiers. They're still about the place. So I'm sure they'll have a thing to say about that.
Fantastic. Well, you'll be jumping on Macedon's bandwagon. I'm going to jump on Rupo's bandwagon just in the build-up to the following week's clash. I do want to see the Riddle and Bombers, the Bombers and the Sharks go head-to-head in a game where they've got the 2 longest winning streaks in the RDFNL.
Oh, yeah, no doubt it'd be good if that occurred, for sure.
It'd be fantastic. Well, thanks so much for jumping on board. I know I've really scraped the bottom of the barrel for this week, mate, but you've done well, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Andy, and keep watching, folks.